All right, so I've said this before, but a big reason I'm not like the biggest soccer fan is because of ties. And the worst type of a tie is a game where no one scores, a 0-0 tie. And that's exactly what happened. The San Jose Earthquakes played the inaugural game in Austin. Austin obviously has a new team, Austin FC. They have a cool logo. Kind of reminds me of the Roots with the tree. But yeah, they went to Austin FC, played the first game at Q2 Stadium, which is actually a pretty nice stadium. But just a boring game. I mean, a 0-0 finish, which means pretty good goaltending or goalie work, getting mixed up. But I mean, the shots weren't great. Only 13 shots for the Earthquakes. 19 for Austin, 9 on target for the Quakes, though, so they did have more chances, technically. They had, possession was pretty equal. Passes was, relatively equal. So is pass accuracy. This game was very equally matched. And the Quakes are not having, like, the best season, but, they're playing a new team, which, usually new teams don't do as well as, like, the, established teams. But, the Quakes, they have an interesting schedule coming up because they have Orlando City and then LA Galaxy. And, some will be on the road, some will be home. But I think it's pretty cool to be in history and play the first game in Austin, even if it's a boring game like this. Yeah, I mean, the Quakes had some chances. But, I'd say even that's kind of an overstatement considering, how, kind of lazy they were. Shooting wise, Wondolowski was in the starting 11, which was cool to see because he's obviously a fan favorite. There were some substitutes, but like I said, you wanna score, and that's kind of obvious. But like a 0-0 tie, I guess it's better than losing, because you are kind of rewarded. But I mean, this is cool because this is a long-awaited stadium opener. It was a draw. And, I think it was cool to play at a new stadium. About 20,000 people were there. And there was almost a header from Diego Fagundes Austin, which would have been a goal, but, it didn't go in. And San Jose, their goalie work was decent, but I think, obviously they didn't allow any goals, but I think they got lucky. Markanowski. But, they had a good attack at the end of the first half. Wondolowski had a really nice shot in the 41st minute, but did not go in. But it was going kind of back and forth in terms of shooting. But like I said, no one could really get it in. Like I said, though, they're gonna play Orlando next, which should be pretty interesting. And I'm kind of excited for that one. Because they don't play too often. We're 8th place in the Western Conference right now. We have 3 wins, 1 draw, and 5 losses. So it's actually our first draw of the year. But let me know your guys' thoughts on this game, and go Earthquakes.